This small batch day pack just hits different. Handmade in Hood River, Oregon, built from technical materials, surprisingly capable. Let me show you why this might just be the perfect bag for what it is. What's up everyone? Welcome to Pack and Roam. If you're new to the channel, I'm Kevin and today we're looking at the Alpine Sea Company Day Pack 18 liter. So I've had this bag for a bit and it's been fun to use, and we're gonna go through this inside and out. So we'll talk materials and specs. I'll show you the exterior features. I'll show you the inside of the bag. After that, I'm gonna let you know what I like about it, what I don't like about it. We'll probably spend a few minutes on use case scenarios and then we'll close it out. So let's start at the top with materials and specs. There is several different color options for this on the website. This is the Eco Grid Blackout version. So there's a couple different material versions. This one is Eco Grid material, which is why it's called the Eco Grid Blackout, but very cool material, technical fabric, very durable. There's also some Eco Pack options. There's the Shadow Light comes in opaque 50D triple ripstop polyester. I mean, check it out on the website. There's a handful of different material options, different colorways. Again, Eco Grid Blackout. So main fabric is Eco Grid. There is some very durable mesh material. So if you look back to the sling review I did for Alpine Sea Company, same mesh that's on the back. And then there's some ultra stretch water bottle pockets on both sides. So hardware wise, we've got a couple different fid locks, a V buckle on a roll top for the top closure. We've got another fid lock slide buckle type for the sternum strap. All the hardware for these straps, well, for everything really, this is all aluminum hardware. So very cool there. Dimension wise, we're looking at 18 liters in stated capacity. This bag is 19.5 inches high, 11.5 inches wide, and then 5 inches deep. So pretty good size for a day bag. I mean, this isn't a massive bag by any stretch of the imagination, but not a bad size for like daily carry or excursions, day bag type trips. So perfect for that. All coated zippers throughout. So there's a bunch of different zippers and we'll look at those all a little bit closer here in a second. All very nicely coated. It's that matte coated zippers. I really like the matte versions of those. Some zipper pulls. These are the same as the ones on the sling. So there's like some hard plastic in here and that looks like kind of paracord around it. Not a bad setup material wise. All right, let's move on to exterior features. And we'll start with the front. So there's kind of a lot going on. We've got some stretch cable right here, some bungee cord. I've got a beanie in there, so there's just a Carhartt beanie. But you've got obviously some extensibility or extendability, versatility that comes with having that shock cord there because you can capture some extra stuff. Inside this mesh, so I have my outdoor research 4A2 jacket. And this is kind of like a sample loadout of how I would load this out for outdoor use. And you know, they kind of build this front mesh area as a great place to put something damp or something that you want to dry. Very durable feeling mesh. I mean, that is some heavy duty mesh that feels like it's basically gonna last forever. So you've got kind of this hood setup over the top of it, which was very similar. Do I have it over here somewhere? Oh, I should have got it in advance, but their sling has kind of the same setup with like this hood. So if you know you get some rain coming down, I guess it'll be directed over that area. So otherwise, there's no zipper or anything or any type of pocket underneath that. Multiple zippers on the outside, all coated zippers. So we've got like a quick access pocket set up here. We've got a side access to the internal roll top. So you don't have to undo the roll top. If you want to get into the bag, you've got side access right here. Back side of the bag, we've got the straps. Got a little bit of elastic loop right here. We've got a couple different slots of what looks like paracord, kind of very nicely stitched on there, but that's for your sternum strap. There's a couple more. These aren't stretchy loops, but they're loops to hang or if you want to route a hydration hose through there, because this is hydration ready, and I'll show you that when we get to the inside. But that's really it for the strap setup. Little bit of padding in here, not too much, but this is a very packable bag. And then I did find that the width of the straps provided for some good weight distribution, so I found it relatively comfortable. I wouldn't, load this bag out with 40 pounds and expect it to be comfortable, but for, a light outing or day pack use, it carries much nicer than I thought it would. We also have this. So this is a removable sit pad. Also acts as a frame sheet and provides, some rigidity to the bag. You can remove it to make it more packable. You can keep it in there, have a sit pad when you're out about on the trail. So I think that's pretty cool. Even with that in there. So with it in there, you're not going to kind of fold it up and make it small, but you can still lay it very flat in the bottom of a bag and keep this in there for travel if you wanted to. On the sides, we've got ultra mesh stretch pockets. So I've got my Grail in this one. I absolutely love the Grail. Actually just ordered the black TI version of that. I've been meaning to order that for a while. But I will say the Grails with that rubber on the bottom, so you kind of need it when you're pushing, because you don't want that to slip out and, eat it in your in your mouth or something when you're trying to push down on it. It would be bad if that kicked out, but it does make it pretty difficult to slide it in and out of pockets. And that's not just this bag, it's really any bag. So getting it in is a little bit of a stretch. I think the TI version, I don't know if that has the rubber on the bottom. I don't think it does. No, it doesn't, because you can heat it over a stove. So we'll see how that one works for pressing, and I think it will be much better for slipping into a bag, but I'm getting way off track here. So ultra mesh pockets on both sides. I've got a pair of mechanic gloves on the other side. Outdoors this time of year, especially in my climate, can get kind of chilly. I did want to show you though that you can fit rather handily a full-size Nalgene bottle in there. Zero problem whatsoever. So it stretches to accept it. I think, if you have it really stuffed out, maybe it'd be a little harder, but you got quite a bit of stretch to these ultra stretch pockets. So I think you're going to get just about any water bottle you want in there. A little bit of branding. So we do have the Alpine Sea Company logo here. We also have their name on the back. I think that's about it for the exterior. The other thing I guess I'll mention while we're out here is you do have a hydration pass-through here. So you can hang a hydration bag on the inside, run the hose through this pass-through, down a sleeve. You got plenty of loops to manage that. And then you got the V-buckle fidlock, keeping this roll top closure together. But I like how they did this. It's like heavy-duty shrink tubing covering this whole knot on that shock cord. And then this shock cord is reflective, so that's kind of cool too. All right, so let's open this up. Let's start taking a look at some of the interior features. We'll start with this top pocket right here. So the quick access style pocket. You got some high-vis orange on the inside of there. And again, I kind of have this loaded out for outdoor use. I've got my 8-liter Ceta Summit, I believe. Ultra Sil dry bag. I usually use this for packing out trash. I've got a Hartford Gear Company. This is my mini first aid kit. One of these days, I'll get a red version of this. I got a couple colors, not red though, but that's the one I'm using for mini first aid kit for, day use. I have Matador pocket blanket in here, which is very handy for setting up outside if you're going to cook on damper ground or even sitting down. But this does come with the sit pad, so that's pretty cool. Inside this pocket, we've got a little bit of organization. So you can see the backside of the Ultra Grid right there. And then we've got more ultra stretch pockets in here. So 2 ultra stretch slip pockets, which really not a bad setup. And then the USA made in Hood River, Oregon, Alpine Sea Company logos in there, but not a bad setup. You got a little bit of volume to this too. I mean, not a bad setup at all for a little quick access pocket on top of there. And I like how they were able to incorporate that in with the roll top. Some of the other roll tops I have, I think it sometimes can be a feature you sacrifice. Not all, but sometimes roll tops will sacrifice that quick access, especially in the ultralight category. Kind of sacrifice that quick access pocket on top. Let's open up the main compartment then, take a look at that. You got two ways in. You've got a big coated zipper all the way down the side right here, so you get pretty much full access to that sidewise. And then you can also obviously undo the Fidlock V-buckle and unroll it and get in for the top. So if you want to stuff, if you got to stuff and then kind of compress, obviously good way to do it with the roll top. If you want to get quick access on the fly, just contents inside without having to unroll, you got the side access. So kind of the best of both worlds. I really like that setup in there, and very accessible. So what I've got loaded up in here, I've got DJI Pocket 3 on top for content creation on the go. Below that, I've got a, this is my mess kit. So for outdoors, I usually have my mess kit if we're gonna be hiking all day and stuff. And I've got a couple dehydrated meals in here. And then camping stove. So there's a MSR Pocket Rocket 2 inside the Toaks 750 milliliter pot, which I love this setup. Super portable, and obviously takes up very little space. But this is kind of my standard go-to for long outdoor days. All right, so otherwise, just some utensils, lighter, some of the compressed towels. These things are awesome. I love having these compressed towels. Add a little bit of water to that, it pops open into a big towel. But that's what we got. So that, and then lastly, I think the only other thing I have in here then is, yeah, I've got, so this is a Cola Tree hoodie, and packs down nicely. Good insulating layer though. Great to combine. This is I like this as a breathable insulating layer. So if you wear it on its own, you get a little breathability. You combine it with a shell like this, and you get a lot of warmth because you lose, you know, all that breathability basically, but you get the shell protection from the wind. I like that combo. Works out pretty well for outdoor use for me. And that's it. So that would be everything I would need for, you know, a nice long outdoor day. But looking into the inside of this now, you've got a big aluminum area or hook. I mean, one of these things basically, but a little bit bigger to hang, if you want to hang a hydration bladder off of that, into a nice hydration pocket. I'll just flip this whole thing inside out, and I think it'll be easier. Yep. So that's what the inside looks like. Completely flipped inside out. And that is the inside, the back side of the quick access pocket. And then this is the hydration pocket right there. If you want to put a hydration bladder in there, you can hang it from here, and then you got the pass-through right here. So also, if you wanted to use it for day carry or, you know, office carry or something, you can. 14-inch MacBook Pro fits in there easily. And this right now is the biggest laptop I have, but it looks like you could probably fit a 15-inch in there. And then if you see right here, you are well off the bottom of the bag. So, I mean, you've got, what, 2-3 inches, maybe 2.5 inches off the bottom of the bag for standoff. So that is not going to hit the ground when you put it down. I'm going to flip this back out. All right, let's take a few minutes to talk likes and dislikes. Starting with what I like about this bag. There's a couple things that I really love about this bag. First and foremost, number one is the materials. Just bulletproof materials throughout, whether we're talking the aluminum hardware, the Eco Grid main material, the ultra stretch pockets, this bomb-proof mesh that they use on the front, top-notch materials throughout. All right, number two, and possibly my favorite feature, is this is extremely packable. So let's say you want to use it without the sit pad. I mean, this thing, we can get creative about this, right? And start from the bottom roll this up kind of the opposite way you would from the top with the roll top, and then use this to kind of fold it in half. And you've got a very, very packed down, packable. I mean, we're talking maybe slightly larger than a pop can. I mean, you can throw that in just about anything. Or if you wanted to leave it flat, it sits very flat, even with the sit pad in there. If you want to take the sit pad with you, I think this is a very packable bag. So, I mean, look how flat, even with the sit pad, right? And I want to see, I bet you this would lay just about perfect on the bottom. But let's say you want to use the black hole duffel, for instance. I mean, this will lay, look at that, just about perfect inside the bottom of the black hole duffel. And I think you're gonna get all your stuff in there, no problem on top of it. So you've got some options for packability, and I really like that about it. All right, lastly, number 3, I love the overall design of this. Very simple with just enough detail to make it extremely useful while remaining lightweight and very packable. Moving on to dislikes, there's really not a whole lot to mention as far as dislikes go. And I think one minor annoyance I've had is, depending on how you roll this, you got to get around. So I try to roll it at least 3 times, but depending on how you have it loaded up and then which way you're rolling it, you know, I often find myself re-rolling it because the fidlock doesn't mate in the right direction, right? Like it wants to sit like this sometimes, where, you know, with side buckles, you never have that problem. I don't think I would give up the V-buckle though. Like I still want to have the V-buckle on there. So just something to think about, and it's probably more of an operator error type thing anyway, but I'm kind of stretching here because there's not much else that I don't like about this pack so far. So I think for what it is, which is a very lightweight, packable day pack, this is just a phenomenal pick overall in this category, and I absolutely am loving this bag so far. All right, let's talk use case scenarios for a minute. And use case scenarios, I mean, to me, this is primarily going to be a packable travel bag, but I think it would be great as a day bag too for hiking. So, you know, there's some state parks around here. If I'm going out for the day, I'm probably going to grab this and load it up because I think it's perfect. It's lightweight. It carries just what I need. Otherwise, again, perfect packable day pack. I think it can work for me as well. I could use it for office carry. You know, material wise and the weather resistance, I think it would be, you know, not necessarily a bad choice for that. Personally though, I'm going to use this more for outdoor type stuff. But what would you use it for? Let me know in the comments below. Have you tried the side pack 18 liter? Would you try it? Side pack, the day pack 18 liter. Would you try it? Hit me up in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts, comments, questions, anything you got. If you found this video useful, definitely hit the like button below for me, and also consider subscribing to the channel. Thanks.